Hello, good morning. It's Friday morning and it's early. It's early for me. And you know, I kind of go live on Fridays whenever I have time. And this morning I got up and it's gloomy out. It's raining and I thought, I'm just gonna go do crafting for a while. Anyway, so I have my coffee. It looks like I'm drinking chocolate milk, but I'm trying this new peppermint mocha cold brew from Stokes, and it's I mixed it with Premier Protein, and it's pretty good. I haven't even added any sugar or anything to it, so that makes it super low calorie, which is great for me. Okay, before I get started on making projects, I want to show you some of the stuff I've been making this week. This is one card. This is made with the triangle trees dies, and the stamp set. Sorry, it's early and obviously I haven't drank all my coffee yet. But I really love, it's hard to show on screen, but I really love adding this holographic paper to the mix. It really adds a sparkle to this. And I noticed in my last video, you could see the reflection of my camera. It was interesting. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. And that's using the stamp of the month this month. And on the inside, I added "For all the ways you brighten up my life." I really love how that turned out. So I'm gonna put that aside. Okay, and then I told you these letters, these alphabets. So what happened with the alphabets is they sold out. They're so popular, and then Close to My Heart makes them in-house, and they have no longer decided to carry their stamps through a whole year, but they did decide to carry this one on because there were so many requests to keep it going. And so this one was one that they decided to keep online. So if you want it, you can get it. And you know, at first I'm like, I'm not going to color in all those crazy little letters. It's too much work. But this is so cute. This took me like 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. It's fast. Okay. Had to take a drink. Okay. So I just did red and green and a little tiny bit of brown on the houses. And I just think it's adorable. This card idea was not my idea. I totally ripped this off of a maker online who did an amazing job making this card. I absolutely love it. And then used the bow from the Silver Bells Cardmaking. I think it's so cute. So cute. Okay, and now I want to show you the others. So this is just a couple other cards using those triangle trees in non-traditional colors. You know, we have a lot of traditional colors this year. We've had the red and the green last month, and this month we have more evergreen green. We have the silver and gold. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do something really different. So this one is done in rosy pink and clover green. And I did this piece right here is another piece of that holographic. You can probably see my lights and camera in the reflection. It's real shiny. And I just stamped on top of the triangles with one of the tree stamps. Nothing special there. And it just turned out so cute. If you're wondering where I got the little sprigs or holly or whatever that is at the top, it's not exactly holly, but let me grab that stamp set just to show you. It's called Design Elements, and you know I love these sets that have like a lot of different little parts and pieces, and I have a tendency to use these a lot. And this is another one that retired with the last catalog, and then Close to My Heart decided to keep it on because it's so popular. I mean, this little crackle thing, I can't even tell you how many times I've used it. already. And the wood grain is nice for just random background. But these are my most used pieces, which is really interesting because I've been using them on scrapbook pages and on cards and just for stuff like this. It's just really simple and an easy grab. It's an easy thing to grab to make a cool card. The other thing is I used the pink dots, and I didn't know, I don't think I have ever shown you the pink dots before, but basically it's like the pink that matches rosy. It's basically a hot pink. And then the pink that matches flamingo and the pink that matches ballerina, or it can match peach also. It's very close. So I just used some stars on top of the tree and some dots at the end of the greenery. Okay, and then this one, I had those leftover trees. You know, I remember I cut like 1 billion. This is out of the glitter and then lagoon and sapphire. That, it looks like, it almost looks like a peacock or a teal, but it's actually navy blue. Same color as the message. So there you go. And if you like that message, we're going to use that, again, on one of the cards, or I'll show you the set today because we're going to be using the triangle trees. And, you know, I didn't even bust out my stencils because, honestly, the stencils are a whole ball game. It adds a whole nother dimension to the triangle trees. And I'm like, oh, I'm still playing with the die cuts and the stamps, and I haven't even had a chance yet to really play with those enough. So anyway, so what I did on this one is I took all 5 different sizes of the die. You know, there's 5 different triangles, and I just cut them all out of the same color of green. And then because close to my heart papers, one side is the true color and the other side is lighter of that color, I just went back and forth, boom, 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 boom. And I put a tiny piece of foam under just the end, just to make it look a little dimensional. Now, you may not be able to see that on camera, but in real life, you can see the dimension. And then I really like this tree. I think it's really cute. And I like this message. This message is wishing you joy. And it is, let me see if I can show you the picture. It's easier to see. It's from the Silver Bells Cardmaking. It's kind of frilly, but you know, the happy holidays, wishing you joy and warmest wishes, season's greetings, all great messages. And these ornaments and things, you know, I need to play around with these in colors other than like metallics, because that would be a really fun thing. So I kind of was like, I think I want to stamp onto this little tree, and I'm not sure which one I want to use. There's different ones you can use. You could use the bigger ones and just, it'll just stamp off of it. I kind of like that one, actually. I think I'll do that. These big ones are big, though. They take a big block or a misty, and so you need a big block. And then try to decide what color of green. I'll use pine. Okay, and then I'm just gonna ink that up. I want to make sure it's really inked up more at the top. If I don't care about the bottom as much. And then I have scratch paper here. This is like one of those things from like my bank statement. Okay. Or something like that. I just like to save those pieces and use them as scratch paper before I put them in the recycle bin. Okay, good enough. And then I'll clean that off. Okay, I'm just gonna set that aside, set my paper aside. And then I'm just gonna start adhering here. I have my mono adhesive today. I have a lot of adhesives sitting around, so. All right, we'll put one here and then one here. And then I really love this wishing you joy, and I thought it would look really nice at the top. I could just stamp direct onto it. Maybe I will. And I think I'll do red. If you are using it for the first time, make sure that you wipe it off good, stamp it on scratch paper. This is the first card I'm making, and it's super duper simple. And then I thought it would be really cute to use the red to just go around the edges. Let's see, which red? Do I want to use the lightest red or the middle red? I'll use the middle red. Okay. And I'm just gonna, I love to do like dots and dashes or dashes all the way around. Some people find it easier to be straight by going towards them, and I am better going away from me. So before you doodle and make dots and dashes, it's good to, it's weird, but it's good to practice a little bit. Make sure that you're comfortable before you go on to your major project, especially if you're like me. I've already got it all put together, and I guess I could trim it off if I need to. You know, like I could trim the edges off and just make it a smaller card if I screw it up. But anyway, so Close to My Heart announced today that they are having their Black Friday sale so that's kind of exciting. I think, yeah, I want to use some red. I might put a star at the top just because I like having a star at the top of my tree. But I like the idea also of having like ornaments on the tree. So I'm just gonna grab them all out. Anyway, so they're having a Black Monday and a Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale. So please watch for that. I'll probably post a link because I don't want you to miss anything if there's good deals to be had. I can tell you what's a good deal, but if you don't want it, it's not a good deal. So it's something I always watch to see what people buy. I'm always curious. I think I need another small one down here. I know I'm spending entirely way too much thought on this. This is one of those things where it's better if you don't think too hard. All right. I love that. I love it. And that will be a great Christmas card for somebody. Look at that. It's so cute. It's so cute. I should put another star on that tree too, though. I should have a star on both trees. Yeah, that's better. Okay, one down. let's do the next one. Now, you remember last week I had a whole bunch of those card kits that we put together, and I told you I don't always do the traditional thing with the card kits. And so what I did was I took, all right, I'm going to take this all apart so that we can put it together. All right. So I took the triangle tree and I tried to center it. I used the second one and I tried to center it as close as I could get. No, I did not measure. No, I did not tape. Yes, it may not be perfect. I get it. But I really wanted to show you this technique. It was shared by another maker online. And so I just want to show you what she did, which is amazing. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to, take a little piece of foam tape and put it, let's start here instead. I'm going to start with this gold filament. Now this is retired, but a lot of you have it or have something like it. It's just basically gold thread, right? It's just gold thread. And I'm just going to take a big piece off and cut that just so it's not quite so fiddly. You can see it's got like some crimps in it from being wrapped around there. I'm going to double it. Kind of smooth it out. It smooths out pretty good. All right. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start at the top and do a little piece of foam tape on top of that. Like that. And then we will, I'm just going to hold this here and we're going to put one across from it, have the gold going over the opening of the tree, and then get a hold of it. And then we'll just kind of go to the other side, like it's going back and forth on the tree. Come on. I just need like one more hand, right? One more hand. Okay. We'll put that there. And then go back across. This is actually a really fast card. I'm kind of surprised at how little time it actually is taking to... I made one of these just to play, and I liked it so much I decided to share with you. Now we're going to go back across, and we're just, you can see, we're just going back and forth across the tree to make that really cool, you know, effect, like there's garland or... And I'm using foam tape because I really want it to be a little dimensional on the other side, okay? I'm just gonna cut. I don't know if that's gonna go all the way across. No, it is not. I may cut another little piece just to, I feel like it needs that one last piece, so I should have cut it a little longer. All right. Sorry, it's like, this filament is so thin, and I thought about using like a baker's twine or a, you know, something like that, but this really does, it's thin enough, it really does look really good. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this. All right, so put a piece here and we'll make it go across. Now, if you wanted to do more, you could go back the other direction also and make it like really crisscross. You could, you know, go this way as well. And it does look really cool. Do I want to do that? What the heck? You know, we have time. I have time. You have fast forward. You can always fast forward me to these little fiddly things like this. I do not mind at all. Okay. Yeesh. All right. So I'm like, all right, let's do this thing. Let's really do it upright. This will be a special card. Okay, there's one. You could use just plain old adhesive for this. You wouldn't have to use foam, but what I find is it looks really cool to have the dimension when it's done. It just looks really neat. And so I'm gonna see if I can. Just put another piece there. And we'll put another little piece here. All right, good enough. So let me cut that off so it won't show above the card. Okay. Now the other thing you have to keep in mind, if you're going to put this dimension on top of a card or whatever, you need to support your edges just a little bit. I don't use gobs of foam tape for this, especially on a card, but I do want to use a little bit just so my card doesn't look all smashed and collapsed. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the edges here and across the bottom. And so, and I might put a little tiny piece across the bottom of the tree also, just so it's supported. Okay. Yeah, see if my fingernails will work to remove this. Okay, so I've been working outside and doing leaves. Ugh. And today, I knew last week was a big leaf week. We had a pile. I'm not kidding. They were over my knees when I started, and they like to blow up against the house. And I spread them all out so while Steve mowed them over. And then today we are right back to that. Our sycamores and tulip trees are finally emptying out. You know, you wouldn't have to take all this off. I don't know why I'm bothering, to be honest. Okay, that's good enough. All right. And then behind the tree, I don't want it to be white. Like, I don't want it white on white. There's no reason you couldn't do white on white, but I want a color. So I'm going to put this panel back here, and it's not going to show other than through the tree, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put that panel on. And look how cool that is. And see how you can see the shadow. When you look at it, you can see that it's a little dimensional. It just looks really cool. Now we're getting to, now these are the pieces for one of the cards in the card kit. And so I'm like, well, I'm just gonna, I kind of trimmed it a little bit. It was, this was a horizontal card. And so these pieces were made for the long side, like 5.5. So I trimmed these down so that they would fit right here. And let me get my liquid glue going here. And I just decided to, I like this paper. There's two sides to this, but I like that it looks like, you know, kind of like garland on at Christmas, right? It's really cool looking. So I'm going to put that down. And then I also have this little piece of toffee, and I like the dark side on that. I'm going to put that down. Now, since I'm just winging it and doing my own thing here, the message, I chose Wishing You Joy, and I went ahead and did it in charcoal ink and put it on toffee. Now I could put it up here at the top, you know, but I think I'm just going to put it down here at the bottom. And I don't want to use foam tape because I already have foam tape, and I want to be able to mail this card without hassle. So I'm just going to put this here, and I did the light side of toffee for the message, so you can see the contrast of the dark and the light. I like it. And then these are the dots that came with the Silver Bells group, and I love these. These are like a almost a copper color. It's supposed to be like silver and gold, right? But I just thought, ooh, these are really cool. How do I want them scattered? Do I want them in a row? Hadn't thought this through yet. Do I want a couple next to the tree? Do I just want one at the top? Ooh, well, this looks so beautiful. I kind of like that the white is sort of untouched and really pristine there. Look how pretty that is. Very modern looking, really special looking card. And it took, you know, 3 little strips of paper. Well, 4 if you count behind the tree, but that was really cool. And that's just using a die cut. Now you could do any die cut. If you have an ornament, a circle cutter, you can make an ornament and decorate it, you know, and make it like a shadow effect like that. Cool. It's a neat idea. Okay, let's do another. This one is a fun idea also. Basically what I did was I took one of the trees and I took I had gobs of scraps, okay? Gobs of little strips of scraps. And I decided to go ahead and just put them across the tree, flip it over, trim it off. You've seen me do that before with other shapes, but this was really, see, I just had a tree in a color I was not going to use any more of this hot pink. So I just covered it in strips, and you can't tell it's hot pink, right? Okay. And then I also cut one out in, white glitter, which I thought was really pretty. I have a whole bunch of the white glitter ones just sitting here on my table waiting for inspiration to strike. I just have them sitting here ready to roll. Let me get rid of these. Okay, and then I have this is charcoal paper, and it's really dark on one side and lighter on the other, and I'm going to use the lighter side just because that dark charcoal is beautiful. I'll show you. It's really pretty against that paper, but I'm going to use the lighter side, and I think I'm just going to kind of do this number, my go-to, right? And then I feel like this needs, before I adhere these down, it just needed something. And I was like, well, I have some bows left over from, I cut them out of that one kit. I did a whole bunch. And I thought, well, that might be a neat idea to put on the tree. I don't know, just thinking. And then I have this gold pen. I have these stickers left. So I have a few. This sticker sheet is pretty well used, right? I do have a star. I could put a star at the top of a tree. I have 2 stars actually. So I could, instead of the bow, I could use my stars and put them at the top. Then I have these strips that are like, they're kind of like a goldish metallic, and that would look really good on here. Maybe I'll just put that on there. It would be nice if I did it straight. However, let me see if I can pull that off. It's so hard for me to go straight when it's out in front of me instead of right under my face. So give me a second here. I can usually eyeball straight pretty well, but okay. And see, there I have another strip. Like, you know, you could use this strip, you know, on your tree if you wanted to, like that. Maybe I will. I hate to cover up too much, right? But there's Stephen Mooser here. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? Ooh, gorgeous. All right. So I'm going to do that. And then I also have all these messages. So I have holiday cheer, all is bright, deck the halls, peace and joy, believe. I mean, you could do good tidings. Oh, that one's kind of pretty. I like this holiday cheer one. It's kind of the right color. Let's put our trees on first, and then I'll decide. Decisions. I'm going to just use my liquid glue while I have it. Here's one. All right. And then I could foam tape that a little bit. This thin foam tape, I've been going through it like crazy, but I'm finding that I really love how it looks with just a little dimension. It doesn't have to be crazy, and I like that it's thin enough. I have no problem sending these through the mail, so I have not yet anyway. I should knock on wood, because the post office, geesh, they just sent me a thing saying they're raising their rates again. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So expensive. On the other hand, there's no other option. So you pay it, you just pay it. I've been buying postage online, like stamps online from people. There's the wishing you joy. I could do that one, but I think I like deck the halls, good tidings. This all is bright is interesting because it's, you know, it's such a big sticker. But I definitely want to use, oh, that's really pretty. And deck the halls kind of fits, doesn't it? Anyway, I've been buying postage online a little bit from like the Etsy or off Facebook Marketplace. And I know it's a risky business because, geez, some of these people are scammers and stuff, but I've never been scammed yet, knock on wood. And so that's awesome. It works really good, and you get I get like 100 stamps for like half of the price. All right, I'm going to use my sticker stars because I want to get those used up. Stick down there. And what is there anything else that I really need to use on my sticker sheet? They're mostly messages. I do have these 3 little stars, but I don't want that. Okay, so I have that. I could do a bow. don't want to, don't like it. That's the end of that. Okay, and then I have my dots again. Now, one of the colors are the white ones. These I want kind of random around, I think, because I really like how they, I like how they sparkle. Wow. I'll just leave it at 3. I like it. Okay, so that's really cool. And the other thing I thought on here is maybe using the pen to outline. I could use a white gel pen and do a white outline, and that would accent the white. Or I could do a gold outline and accent the gold. It's not wrong no matter what you choose. If I do the gold, let's see what that looks like on there. Let me see the white. I think I might, gold, white. I think I might use the white this time. And I am just going to, this is very modern looking and very elegant looking, but I'm gonna make it a little less elegant by doing this, I think. But basically, let me get my pen rolling. This is a size 8. I should have used a 10. Now with the gel pens, one thing, oh, that's so pretty. I think I will grab a 10 and go over that. Make sure my ink is running. You need to move slow enough for the gel to flow. If you go too fast, you'll get the skip, skip, skip look. And if you have a fairly new pen, it flows really good. Some of the, as your pen sits for a while, sometimes they'll get a little drier. And you have to get them flowing again. I like that. All right. I'm just gonna do a few little dots around the stars. I love it. Okay, enough doodling. There's there's my card panel for number, what, 2 or 3? 3? Okay, and then I have one more. I want to show you one of the things about these triangle trees is they look amazing on, like, it's so easy to color, use colored cardstock and then put the tree itself in white or gold. So I have a couple of stamps out. This is another card, another one of the, remember how I cut down the pieces to do the card kit? This is another one of the cards. I could totally use that ornament set and make another beautiful card using that ornament set, but I decided I wanted to try the triangle trees on it. And so basically, I think on the other card you use this side. Can't remember. I should grab it. But anyway, I'm going to use this side because, like I said, it looks more like garland on a tree. This is rosemary cardstock, and you can choose whichever side you want. I like the light side. So I'm basically just going to go ahead and adhere these two pieces together really quick. Put that on my card base, leaving a little border all around. Okay, and I really like how that looks just like that already. And then I was going to use the triangle trees like this. Now, They need some help, right? They need some doctoring up. So this tree for sure, I'm gonna emboss. So let's set pieces aside. Heat embossing takes a little, you don't want to have stuff around that's gonna melt. You don't want to heat on your tabletop. I made the mistake of doing that one time. We had to buy a new kitchen counter one time because I was doing wood burning on our countertop. That wasn't very smart. I burned right through our linoleum, what is the name of that countertop that is old style? It wasn't heartbreaking to have to replace it. Oh, laminate. Yeah, it was like a laminate. Anyway, this is Versamark water ink. You can use any wet ink. You could use a pigment ink pad in any color. What will show will be the color of powder you're using. So if I was using hot pink pigment ink, it would work just fine. And what I'm going to do then is stamp directly on here. Now this ink is made, I'm going to move it closer to me just for a second here so I get it straight, or I'm going to try to get it straight. This ink right here, if you just left it the way it is, will leave just a watermark image, just a little bit darker image. But I want to heat emboss it, so I'm going to use my white powder. Put that on there. This powder is so old. This powder lasts forever, you guys. You don't need to buy new powders every year or anything. If this powder right here, look, it says dots. We haven't been dots for, I can't even tell you how long. Has it been 20 years? I don't know. It's since the 90s. So this is old, this powder, and it works fabulous still, as long as you store it in a nice dry place. Hi, Heather. Thanks for watching. All right, I'm going to use my heat tool. I've been debating on getting one of those, the 1900s. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna heat it from underside just a little bit to get it going. And sometimes if you heat it too much in one place, it'll curl your paper, which isn't the end of the world, but I really want it to take off fast so that you guys can see it change. So you can already see the edges starting to melt. Anyway, I thought about getting one of those heavy duty like Wagner, power heaters that people use. They're super hot. And then I thought, well, I'm kind of dangerous with these heat tools. I've already ruined an entire kitchen countertop. I'm not sure I need to have another one that's hotter than it needs to be. Anyway, once you have it all heated up, which this is, it'll look shiny. Let me turn this off. And I think, hold on a minute. Sorry, I'm dropping my tool on the floor. Okay. I don't know if you can see the shininess of that, but it's nice and smooth and shiny, and it won't be powdery anymore. Like if you touch it, it won't be like powder flying. Okay. Put that away. Wipe off my table. Oh, you know what? While I'm heat embossing, I think I want to heat emboss a message also. Let's see. Do I have a scrap here? Oh yeah, I could do seasons, greetings in white, or I can do wishing you joy. I'm trying to decide. I think I like this one better instead of this one. I don't know. I think I'll do this one. It's so fun to heat emboss anyway. Maybe I'll go ahead and heat emboss the little tree too. Which dryer is that? This is the Ranger Heat It tool, and the close to my heart carried it a few years ago. And so I went ahead and got it, and wow, I'm so happy with it because it's so quiet. I can actually use it like during a live without, and I can still talk over it. You know, some of those tools are so incredibly loud. There is no way. It's like, and you'll see if you watch other people doing lives and stuff, you'll see that they cannot talk over the noise of their heat tools. They have to like go off camera just a little bit while they're heating it up. And I like to be able to, you know, see the cool factor. All right, which one to use? Which one to use? This little one right here with the loops kind of mimics the loops of the paper, so I'll use that. I'm just gonna wipe it off, make sure it's, I've not ever really used this one. So the thing about the watermark ink is you don't, it's the foam pad is squishy. You don't want to squish it in there really hard because you'll get ink in all the crevices of your stamp, and then you'll get some of that may transfer onto your project, and you'll end up with a smushy looking embossing instead of a nice, like, crisp looking image. All right. I guess I'll leave that open. Ta-da! I better get rid of my powder or I'll heat it up. Sometimes I use a coffee filter. You know, people were like, try a coffee filter to catch all that glitter and the powder and all that stuff. And so I tried it, and what I find is a coffee filter is a little flimsy or something. I still have an easier time using a piece of cardstock or a scratch piece of paper. All right, I'm heating this from under and over. I'm trying to heat it even and not be in any one particular place at the same time, you know, for very long, because you can burn your paper when you're doing this. Ask me how I know that. And sometimes with some embossing powders, it's a little hard to tell if it's melted, and if you overheat it, it'll turn brown. Or it will turn into powder again and flake off. So when you're heat embossing, you need to kind of keep an eye on it and kind of watch it, you know, kind of watch it melt kind of gradually. Yeah, I've done that too. Oh yeah, see, I like how that looks, right? Now the other thing is I still have that, some of those stickers. I could use some of the stickers. Decisions. No, I really like this. Wishing you joy. Where do I want the message? I think I want the trees. I like the trees grounded somehow. And so that's why this little sticker just appeals to me a little bit, because I can put it on there. It adds a little sparkle, plus it grounds my trees. So I'm going to put that on there. So as I'm making cards, I have all my, you know, I keep all my extra parts and pieces like sitting around so that I can just pull from whatever I've got. I was going to do foam tape on here, but I don't think I will. Just for a change. I'll do this one flat. And So wishing you joy. Boy, that's pretty. Could put the bow on that one. There's something about that bow. I keep feeling like I need to use it for some reason. Foam tape, I know. I have foam tape on all the others. So there you go. I have foam tape on all the others I've made today. All right. Silver, white, this gold copper color. Woo, that's pretty. That's a contrast. I kind of like, I haven't used many of the silver ones, and that's really pretty. Silver it is. I like to have a top on my trees. I don't know why, but I just do. It just looks right. And I like to have gems somewhere else as well. And this is, I could put them all across the bottom. If I was going to do that on all my Christmas cards, just for the expense, I'd probably use stickles instead. So, yeah. So, I'm going to put that there. There. I really like that. Okay. Let's review all of what we've made so far. Actually, I think I'm done for today because I really need to get going with a few things. So here's one. I just need to add the inside message. And here's the other that we did. And remember, we popped that up. We did strips and foam tape. Here's that one that was a little fussy with the thread, but wow, is it cool. It is just cool. And I may put a couple of snowflakes or something up here. I just haven't, I don't know yet. And then this one is more of a traditional red and green, all made using the triangle trees. I just love how they look. And so I can't wait for the thin cuts to come back in stock, but the, you can get the stamps and the stencils now. So isn't that cool? It's so pretty. I had so much fun. And this is just 4 cards I've made, and it has now been 50 minutes. So I had some things pre-cut. Obviously, I had a bunch of trees pre-cut, but it really didn't take me very long to make these. So if you leave stuff sitting out on your desk and just, you know, grab them once in a while and just make a card, you know, within the next few weeks, you will have a bunch of cards made. So these are the others that I showed you. Here's a fall card. So yeah, so the triangle trees. I'm having fun with this, you guys. Ta-da! I hope you enjoy it like I do. See you later. Have a good weekend.